Welcome to Unit 5, Level 2 video notes. We are going to be translating from one representation of data to another. So we're going to take a table, for example, today and transfer it to a circle graph. Please recall that if we turn all the way around, that's 360 degrees. And also that a right angle is 90 degrees, a straight angle is 180 degrees. Well, 4 90s or 2 180s is a total of 360. We've had a lot of part to total ideas where we know that is over of is percent out of 100. Well, is over of is a part to total idea. And we know that percent out of 100, well, there's 100 squares, so that's the total percent. And the percent on top would be the part of the squares that you shade in. So that's your part percent. Well, now that we know that 360 degrees is a total for degrees, the area of a sector, the degree of a sector is the same as the number of degrees in one slice of a pie. So the degree of a partial sector is a part to total 360 idea as well. We can set any of these part to total, percent of 100, degree of a sector over 360. We can set any of those ratios equal to each other and cross multiply. This table down below shows the distribution of fish in a local lake. We know that 22% of the fish are perch, 34% are bluegill, 14% are bass, 17% are walleye, and 13% are northern. We are going to find the number of degrees for each of these types of fish. That would be translated to that pie chart. I know that 22% of our fish in the lake are perch, and if I knew my total fish in the lake, I could figure out how many perch were in there. But I'm not looking for that, and I don't have the total fish, and I don't have the total perch. And I need to find the number of degrees for each sector. Well, 22% is 22 of 100. That is a part to total idea. And I need to find the number of degrees that this 22% takes up of the circle. And I know that part out of 360 will give me the degree of that sector. So we just said that that percent out of 100 is going to be the degree of my sector over 360. Let's cross multiply. 22 times 360 is 7,920. Divide by 100 and we get 79.2. And that's not how many perch are in their lake. That's how many degrees the sector is for perch of the circle. I'm going to grab a protractor, line up my center, and then I'm going to draw a line to measure my 0 degrees here. And I need 79.2. So if I look, grab that green part of it here. So it's nice that it shows the degree, but on the outside is really what we're looking for because we're increasing from 0 to about 79.9, right about there. So I'm estimating and getting close. I'm going to draw the line here to connect from the center to that 79 degrees. And this is 22% of our data, and that's 22% of our fish in the lake are perch. Now let's find the degrees of the sector for the bluegill. I know that 360 degrees are in a circle. I need to find the part out of that total. And I don't know the number of fish, but I do know that 34% of my bluegill are going to be part of that sector. So let's cross multiply this proportion. 34 times 360 and divide that by 100. I get 122.4 degrees. That's an obtuse angle. Let's measure this one now. This time I'm going to still line up my center, except my 0 degree, I'm going to need to turn my protractor so that it lines up with my center and the ray of that sector. I I don't need to draw my line this time because it's already drawn. So now I'm going to take it to 122 degrees. And this is an estimate, so I'm going to do there. Put my dot and my line. And this is 34% of our fish in the lake are bluegill. We don't know how many fish, but we figured out the degrees and we know the percent. The bass is 14%, and we need to figure out how many degrees that is out of 360. 14 times 360 is 5,040 divided by 100, and we get 50.4 degrees. I'm going to line up my protractor so that it starts with that 0 degrees. Oops. A little off here. I'm going to restart this part so that it is 50.4 degrees. So 50.4 is about there. So that's my bass. And that is 14% of my data. Two more parts. 17 out of 100 fish are walleye in the lake, and we need to know how many degrees that is. So out of 360 total. So 17 times 360 divided by 100 is 61.2%. I have my protractor all ready, so I'm going to line it up at that 0. I'm going to measure 61.2, so that's about 61. And I'm going to draw my line. And that is walleye. And that's about 61.2%. The northern in the lake are 13%. So how many degrees is that out of 360? 13 times 360 divided by 100 is 46.8. Now my fingers are crossed that when I measure this, it's going to be about 46 degrees. So line up the center and the 0 degrees with one of the rays here. And please, 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 oh, that is very close to 46 because I am human. There is some drawing error, but that is close enough for me. And then in the end, to double check, all of these represent the fish in the lake. They should add up to 360. So go ahead and take a timeout and make sure they do. Just like the percent of fish in the lake, these are going to add up to 100. Let's look at our next question. If someone fishing catches 50 perch in a day, how many of each fish would they expect to catch? It seems kind of like a trick question because they gave us how many perch we caught, so that part's done. Let's see if we can figure out the number of bluegill caught. I know that my part to total is percent out of 100 here, so 34% is 34 out of 100. And that top part is your percent of bluegill over the denominator, which is the total of the fish. And I don't know the number of bluegill on top, and I also don't know the total. So I am stuck. I need to go back to the perch example. I know that 22% is the part out of my total 100 squares, and that's equal to the perch out of the total fish in the lake. So 22% of the fish are perch, well, 50 is the actual number of that, and we can figure out the total by cross multiplying. So 100 times 50 divided by 22 is 227.27 repeating. So let's round that to just 227 total fish in the sea. I mean in the lake. So if that's our total fish, I can put 227 down here and solve for the amount of bluegills. 34 times 227 divided by 100 is about 77.18 fish. So let's just say 77 fish are bluegill. Now the bass. 14 out of 100 are the amount of bluegills, of bass in the lake as a percentage. So how many bass is that out of 227 fish? Cross multiply, 14 times 227 divided by 100 is 31.78. So now I'm going to round that 1 up to a 2 for 32 fish. The walleye, 17 out of 100 as a percent is how many walleye out of total fish? Cross multiply, 17 times 227 divided by 100 is 38.59. I'm going to take that 5 and shove the 8 up to a 9 for 39 walleye. And lastly, the northern. 13 out of 100 is the same as how many northern out of 227 total? 227 times 13 divided by 100 is 29.51. I'm going to round that up to 30 northern. Now, if I add these up, I should get 227, and I get 228. And the whole reason why we're a little off is because we rounded that total fish at the beginning. Good luck with your level 2 homework.